Um, como se fala? Oh, sorry. this this translation here is not quite accurate. Let's see. Immateriality beyond physicality. What's that? Quer dizer, o mundo etérico, ou the subtle world, the invisible, beyond the dense part, the physical world where we live in. Our science openly declares that it knows and accepts three stages of energy and matter in the universe through its studies and technology. Define the known universe composed of physical matter through the local, the world scientists, the earth scientists, 4% and 5% basically, and dark matter 22% over 25%. So physical matter is less for the people here, and dark matter 22-25%. And the dark energy 68% over 72%. And in dark energy is where is found the remains of the so-called antimatter. Is there where it exists, the antimatter resides, and the dark energy, and its composition not yet defined. Imagine how will your human here knows something which the aliens themselves does not know, based on theoretical physics and scholars. In the book scanned by the author Rodrigo Romo, it was explained in several moments that the energy of the soul and the spirit has similarity to the antimatter particles defined as neutrons. Okay, the energy of the soul and the spirit has similarity to the antimatter particles, which we know as neutrons, which are the antiparticle of neutrons. So neutrons, antimatter particles, are the antiparticle of neutrons, but with negative and non-neutral charge. So it's negative, it's not neutral, which originate the name of that basic particle of the trinity of the atom's physicality. To understand existence and universe beyond the plane of human physicality and the other realities of the extraterrestrial universe, you would have to create a hologram of particles and antiparticles that could establish a connection between your physical reality and that which exists far beyond the plane of the atomic and chemical reaction of the universe. To understand the existing universes beyond the plane of human physicality and the other relatives of the extraterrestrial universe. So beyond, they're talking about beyond even extraterrestrial universes. You would have to create a hologram or density or matters to be exact, of particles and anti-particle that could establish a connection between your physical reality and that which exists far beyond the plane of the atomic and chemical reaction of the universe. So for that to happen, they'll have to create something that's beyond and far away from the atomic and chemical reaction of the multiverse or the universe. What they are talking about the universe, not multiverse. Something that terrestrial technology could accept and decode in this moment of humanity and this present human experiences or reality, just as a correlation between the spirit and the neutrons may seem absurd to physicists and other scientists. To present the scheme of the universe within the dark energy field will represent the same heresy. But it's the initial way to delve into what has never been addressed by complete inability to translate and interpret channels and representatives, because many things is distorted once it goes through the mind, our mind of the channels. You see, those who can other beings, let's say other beings, not extraterrestrial alone. Once they pass a message to our brain, in our mind, it has to go through many filters, and by the time it reaches our throat and our mouth and our understanding, it is most of the time only half truths and a lot of distortion, a lot of misunderstanding, sometimes inattentive. Sometimes the person does not mean that, but because we unfortunately we are our brain are very limited. So to understand the existence beyond the plane of human physicality, the other relatives in this universe, they have to create a hologram of particles. So they have to create a hologram of particles of the more density in the particles. It could establish a connection between your physical reality and that which exists far beyond the plane of the atomic and chemical reactions of the universe. Something that terrestrial technology could accept and decode in this moment of human, in this moment of present human reality, just as a correlation between the spirit and the neutrons may seem absurd to physicists and other scientists. To present the scheme of the universe within the dark energy field will represent the same heresy. But it's the initial way to delve into what has never been addressed by complete inability to translate. I don't think also that because of the people. I think because it was not time yet, and you non-humans purportedly make it happen, make it half distorted and half truth. So why only now you are able to pass the messages truly and with precision and accuracy, unless maybe right now the person is more open, they have blocked certain blockage that we had in the past. Maybe, who knows. Your universe is in fact the structural reflection of another parallel universe. Wow. So it's all like replica, made in China replica in another density or atomic frequency. What happens in other levels, because the multiverse is a mirror of other universe fractals, clones and replicas, which are spreading time and space in and unlimited way, replicating the primordial energy that is infinite for human parameters. Wow. Well, if it is unlimited for us, how about the non-humans? Will it too not be infinite and unlimited as well? I do not believe, otherwise the aliens will not be yet in quest to find out what there is there beyond the unknown. And they will not have to explore more and more, to find more and more about things that is still unknown to them and us. The origin of this energy is based on the very cohesion of the particles and antiparticles of the created and uncreated universe that sustain the reactions of life beyond physicality and the gravitational movement itself. In fact, gravitational energy is pure life in other stages and represents the energy flow of the supreme cosmic consciousness in other higher stages. I still believe that there are universe that they are creating, and that is not yet live for the public. They have not yet made it functioning for lives to live in there yet. Still in the process, sustain the reaction of life beyond physicality and the gravitational movement. Gravitational energy is pure life in other stages and represents the energy flow of the supreme cosmic consciousness in other highest stage. I already knew it's all about consciousness. Everything exists in energy, consciousness. Consciousness generates energy. This I knew since I was 12-year-old. It looks like surreal, but it's true. Since I was 12 years old, I already knew all that, all this truth here, all this reality. Existing energy throughout the flow of particle exchange in the universe. Everything is energy, everything is consciousness, which in turn generates primitive gravitational energy at the other levels of the universe. Yep. And unfortunately, we are in a very dense, composite monster of antimatter. The invisible universe has energy, and the aliens also are pure energy. They are not what they seem to be. They just appear and they wish us to see, you see, and not what is there and not what we wish to see. But I knew it already. I knew from the beginning that aliens are not a gray and not a reptile, not a dragon. We just call, by the way, how they can be defined easily. However, they have not bodies. Although they can take any form they want at will. In turn, generates primitive gravitational energy at the other levels of the universe. The invisible universe has energy, as well as the cosmic consciousness, in the sense of changing particles' charges. In this way, the transfer of energy from one sector to another through the Brahma membranes that separate the different universes from the multiverse, and at the same time create existential bubbles, which is planets or galaxy systems of each group of consciousness sea of the universe, and life within them consequently. And here it explains how it separates one universe, one quadrant, from another and another and another. Bubbles here would be the planets and star systems. Usually humans make a relation between consciousness sea and a body to be inhabited. No, not me though. So I'm not a human in this aspect, because I never thought consciousness sea as the having or necessary to have a body. No, I can still exist even without this body, this soul, this spirit, or this body, or this mind of mine. Because the mind is not the brain. The brain is the transformer. It's a kind of generator that generates information from all the meridian of the body, and then passes to the mind, which is not the brain. Is separate. The mind is an entity by itself, and the brain is physical, baryonic, constructed, what they call instructor. So I never thought that I can exist only with this body. I always knew that I could exist, that I have a consciousness since I was 12-year-old, since I turned 12 in the 70s. The middle 70s, middle 70s, I knew that already. So no, not everybody thinks the same. Many people here are more advanced than you think they are. Okay, don't think that all of us here are primitive, that is downrated the species. But this is a primitive deception of perception. Don't be so haughty. For in fact, consciousness is energy and does not need a receptacle like a body to exist. I know that since I was 12-year-old. I was very advanced. It exists in the time-space flow of the very foundation of the energy of all universes, and their different densities. Sure, I knew that a long time ago. When describing a paradise sun, why not a paradise daughter? Why only sun? Why only daughter? Or even a being of the Varanadek order? It's natural for humans to attempt to make a human correlation of their embodiment. They are changed the O for the off. When it's supposed to be off, they put O. What's a translation? And they are referring here to the this habit which human has, this misunderstand that they have, that a god must have a penis, that a god must be a man with beard or whatever, that a god can be a woman, whatever. And when in reality they got no body, literally speaking. They are just pure energy. Okay, only here in this quadrant of the universe where it's necessary for us to embody a body so as to serve as energy for these other beings. That's the truth that's not been told. Alright? So let me see. So this God of yours that you create, you create an imagination that does not exist. This God of stone, whatever, images. because I knew long time ago that these aliens were not human. Oh, I mean, sorry, were not physical, but they can project. They can look at a stone and they will say, "I am that," and they just zoop, the energy goes there. They see a dinosaur. I'm gonna become this. Zoop. They multiply in many parts. They become all the dragons. Okay, the saurians. They see a cat. They become feline, or a gray alien, which is a mix of feline and others, and insectoids. And however, in reality, they are just shadow. They can be a black shadow, yeah. A pure light, pure energy of light, yeah. They can be black shadow, yeah. Sure, it's them. They come from the black, the dark energy. So this is a common mistake from cultures, those who are very into religion and indoctrinated, who find themselves trapped by the limitations of their bodies. However, in the stage of studies you are entering through this book, it has to change profoundly, for the reconnection of the cosmic memory of your own essence completely rules out this human reference. The universe is composed of energy, and the soul is energy temporarily inserted within a biological body. Sure, the universe, multiverse is composed of energy, not just uni. Uni is one, multi, trillions of universe there is. It's all composed of energy, of course, energy and motion. It's energy temporarily inserted within a biological body. This should be a permanent parameter so that they can continue their studies at this point of their journey. We are trying to discover who you are, okay? With the all, we are here to discover who we are. And however, there's some, I would say, some violence in the games that like things and hard knocks, and that's how we come to get a lot of tribulations, a lot of obstacles in our lives, be it individually or collectively, okay, because of violations. This should be a permanent parameter so that you can continue the studies, but we're not here to study, we are here to experience with the all and export all to the afterwards, outwards, at this point of their journey, where there is no return. The difference between the energy of the soul and the spirit, I still believe that nothing exists. It's all imagination and a dream, and one day we're gonna wake up from all this. It can be a dream, or it can be the nightmare. The difference between the energy of the soul and the spirit is based on the field of magnitude. So the difference between the energy of the soul and the spirit is based on the field of magnitude of the atomic reaction between the dark energy and the baryon matter. So it's all about differences fraction that permeates it. The biological body is called by the scientists of baryonic matter. Is called by the scientists. Is called baryonic matter by the scientists, due to the baryons that it contains. Thus, the biological body is able to absorb only part of the energy of the atomic reaction from dark energy and dark matter itself. The biological body is able to absorb only part of the energy of the atomic reactions from dark energy and dark matter itself. In its biological structure, it only absorbs a percentage of up to 30% of the energy of the nuclear interaction from the dark energy and dark matter plane combined in the atomic and biochemical interaction of the organism. Otherwise, it would be very light. If you have more percentages of it, you're gonna be very light, just like the other beams. You see, and able to transmute ourselves and be anything we wanted to. Even though soul, after we die, we are still limited. We cannot become just anything we want to. Maybe after through phases, stages of life, after death, then maybe we are able to transmute and become anything we want to. But in the beginning, the first stage of death, no, it's still gonna be the same rubbish here, limitations. So let me see here, interaction from the dark energy and dark matter plane combined atomic. The less we have, the more limited we are, and the less we are able to be transmutative. Only other bodies and structures in more subtle planes can interact in higher percentage of energy. Yeah, good for you and bad for us, is it? The combined energy gradient that can permeate the human biological body is decoded and restricted to a smaller combination that is termed the soul. You see, even the soul is limited. That's terrible. That's really, really terrible. Even the soul, they try to limit. For the structure of a biological body to absorb and couple in itself the combined energy called the spirit, it must be able to absorb about 55%. That's just the spirit, huh? Not talk about the physical body and the mind and the soul. So for the structure of a biological body to absorb and couple in itself the combined energy called the spirit, it must be able to absorb about 55% of the combined energy between dark matter and energy, and dark energy, and the atomic and chemical reaction to the organism, which alone occurs in more complex biological structures in a subtly plane above what's erroneously defined and 6D by humans, starting from a crass mistake that the bodies are 3D, which has already been explained countless times and people do not realize. The 4 dimensions are height, width, depth, mass. Since they all have mass, they occupy 4 dimensions in the universe and not only 3 as they have always believed. And this way we have to initiate a paradigm shift to enter the material universe that you seek to understand, but using matter as the basis of parameters for comparison. I don't know, it's all very complicated. Some aliens say, oh yeah, 3D, but you are in level 1 of a learning. Others say, no, you are now in the 5 dimension. Oh no, you are 4, so what is what? Just be clear, man. Just be clear. Just be true to yourself. To thyself be true. Stop the distortion. Stop the what they call the mismatch. All this entangled talks. This is all very insidious and a covertly way to fool people. They all have mass. They occupy 4 dimensions in the universe, and not on 3 as they have Let's believe it. In this way, we have to initiate a paradigm shift with the material universe that you seek to understand, but using matter as the basis of parameters for comparison. The immaterial universe has no mass as you understand it. For 2 over 10 minus 72, what's this over 72? Only the theoretical condition for the current science. How to define an existential gravity flow for particle that is ultralight in its propagation in time and space simultaneously. The structure of the material universe, where the paradise sons and daughters and the monad itself coexist, is beyond 10 over 90 on the terrestrial scale of dimensional evolution. And this way, the reality of which we speak is technically non-existent and theoretically maximal, since we exist in what cannot be counted dimensionally and analogously by terrestrial concepts and many similar stellar civilizations. But let us continue with revelations about the abode of non-existent of the plane of immateriality, or the invisible, the occult. Researchers and theorists define that the universe emerged from the absolute vacuum before the primordial explosion. But the absolute vacuum does not exist because everything is occupied space through the aliens' theories or reality, I'm not sure. But the absolute vacuum does not exist because it's composed of energy. Everywhere there is energy, so there's nothing like space as previously taught here in classrooms. Let us continue for a revelation for the abode of non-existence of the plane of materiality. Researchers and theorists define that the universe emerged from the absolute vacuum before the primordial explosion. But the absolute vacuum does not exist because it's composed of energy. There is another type of matter and antimatter in states not yet decoded by theoretical physicists. The existence of consciousness is already a factor that leaves the question of the vacuum in check, because consciousness is an energy that goes beyond the concept of matter and vacuum. Yeah, that's true. That's really true. The universe is something that we cannot describe, is indescribable. The universe that precedes Havona Chantal is defined as the source that all is. That is, it is not only our universe, but a connectivity of consciousness coming from another stage of evolution of energy and not of matter, as studied and accepted by scientists in the universe of action and cause. For each member of the Voronadek order and the other orders that were being formed within the new Havona Chantal structure, as in the case of the important fundamental Lanonadek order, the All-Is fountain represents the generation center of the quantum energy movement and the existential structure of matter and energy and contraposition. Contraposition, so running counter, to create life in all its range of possibilities. Before the existence of the Havona Chantal project, which is all that is right now, and I think the physicality word. Life exists in non-material energy and super energy structures, existing only in terms of consciousness. Consciousness is know that you exist, no matter how, when, where. At levels well beyond the 10 over 100, biological understanding, in fact, for terrestrial mathematicians, what makes this reality impossible to exist? It extrapolates any concept of modern atomic quantum physics and astrophysics. It extrapolates any concept of modern atomic quantum physics and astrophysics. However, it's the segment from where the co-creators arose and shaped the Havana-Chantar project that went on to produce the densification of the boron shell energy for dark energy. Gradually, it began to vibrate as dark matter, and its densification passed into the baryons. And in this way, the physical matter of which you and the universe are constituted in is the baryonic matter. Okay? And the co-creator rose and shaped the Havana-Chantar. Who are they? They are indescribable and they are unimaginable. They are not human, they are not animals. They can be all that, but at will. However, they are not that. Okay, the various type of co-creator for each galaxies and star systems. All members of the plane of existence of the Holy Source represent only consciousness without the body, all energy, see? Without the matter, without the structure. However, existing thousands of possibilities beyond the physicality and with the sum of the knowledge of an immaterial anti-universe and co-credited to the image and energy of each of its members and supporters. Means that they can take any form at will, and they also want to harness energy from us, from all the things that it creates in baryonic form. Understand? A kind of, okay, they create material world. And why? Because they want to, for many purposes, they want to get information from what it can become outside of that fountain which they are and they know themselves to be, right? So they want to get information, they want to see what they themselves are capable of being outside of that consciousness, that word is of consciousness, pure energy and consciousness. And so everything is created because they can get energy. They can kill one snake, 1,000 snake, one stone. It's just a metaphor. They can get information. They can see the new creations in those words, and at the same time, they can harness energy and be anything at all because they can replicate what they have created in the first place. Okay, they want to be us, they can be, and I say us because we don't exist. It's not what we are. I don't consider myself a human. I'm not a human. I'm a pure consciousness, and I can exist without this body, this mind, this brain, soul, this spirit. It only concerns without the body, and what we are composed, not what we are. We are not many people, especially those who follow religions and a culture, whatever. They think that we are soul, we are spirit, but we are not. We're not that. if you can prove that you do not die, and you can prove that not die, then yes, we are that what we think you are, a soul, a spirit, okay? And if you want to reincarnate with the same, recycle the same soul, why not? Carry on, go. Keep on reincarnating, no problem. But if you don't want, also it's okay because you are not dead. The soul is replaceable, the spirit is replaceable, the body, the mind itself is an entity per se, and well, it's a Voronadek. Lá no Nadek created the body. Our bodies is a composition of many star systems, many compositions, you see, and many layers as well. There's many layers, and well, they create all this to be what they want. They want to find out what they could be outside the place where it was. And all this co-create is this being, is one singularity which can split itself into many forms of consciousness and create the baryon form to materialize itself and also individualize itself. So I'm trying to explain the best I can and the best I know. All members of the plane of existence of the all source represent only consciousness without the body. Okay, they are just consciousness. It doesn't have a body, without matter, without structure. However, exists in thousands of possibilities beyond physicality and with the sum of the knowledge of an immaterial entire universe and co-credited to the image and energy of each of its members and supporters. So we are here also to support them in this quest and this in this journey that what was created within this structure end up generating thousands of universes, structures of energy, geometry, and waves of immaterial time and space that end up being the basic structure so that the Havana project could be created and all these possible matrices of material and energetic realities from each sector or timeline of energy. Various builders and consciences of the entire universe eventually became interested in the new reflective possibility of energy geometry that was being formed through Havana to establish a new project. In this way, the Paradise sons and daughters and the various organizational structures were being formatted and established to bring Havana and his new proposal to life, starting from the reflection of the universe of immaterial energy. Consciousness generates energy, exists energy throughout the flow of particle exchange in the universe, which in turn generates primitive gravitational energy at the other levels of the universe. And that's it. More one bombastic subatomic information for those who are already prepared to accept, to input all this information, of course, and ponder and think and get away from this Maya, this illusion which we live in.